just here to relate. She done fell in the traps, now she shifting the fate.
Every slip was set up for her next prize. Not your poor truth with a joke on the side. No filth, no fluff, just soul in the mix. Every story got a gem, every laugh got a fix. She where you at from heartbreak to hustle, from crying in the dark to finding the muscle. So if you watch it, better open ears, cause the realest lessons come wrapped in them tears. Take heed to the message, you gon' feel this vibe. Real talk, no cut, just the truth and life. Been through the fire, now she see that flame. Life through the pain, but she still got game. Everyday life with a twist and a grin. Tears, truth, jokes, where the hill begin. She break it down real, never play and pretend. Take heed to the message, lessons through the lens.
She said how it is, no shoot, no mask, my throat.
Take heed to the message, you gon' feel this vibe. Real talk, no cut, just the truth and life. She been through the fire, now she see that flame. Life through the pain, but she still got game. Everyday life with a twist and a grin. Tears, truth, jokes, where the hill begin. She break it down real, never play and pretend. Take heed to the message, lessons through the lens.
Came from the store, she built from the stars. Turned all them L's and twist to Mars. Ain't here to preach, just here to relate. She done fell in the traps, now she shifting the fate.
Every slip was set up for her next prize. Not your poor truth with a joke on the side. No filth, no fluff, just soul in the mix. Every story got a gem, every laugh got a fix. She where you at from heartbreak to hustle, from crying in the dark to finding the muscle. So if you watch it, better open your ears, cause the realest lessons come wrapped in them tears. Take heed to the lessons, you gon' feel this vibe. Real talk, no cut, just the truth and life. Been the fire, now she see that flame. Life through the pain, but she still got game. Everyday life with a twist and a grin. Tears, truth, jokes, where the hill begin. She break it down real, never play and pretend. Take heed to the lessons, lessons through the lens.
She said how it is, no shoot, no mask.
Good morning, everybody.
It's like punk with a side to grace. She a voice in your ear when the world in your face.
So laugh if you want, cry if you need. But one thing for sure, you gon' take it.
Cause she been through the mess, now she blessed in the crowd, with truth in the chest, and the head still proud.
I love that. He said it's truth in the chest and the hair is still proud. Shout out to Corey Joe, 1000 Watts Radio. Baby, content is always fire, honey. Y'all get in here and like and subscribe to that brother channel. And while you're there, tell him Take Heed sent you. We're going to get into some foolery today, okay? Some other stuff. We're not going to stay too long on this subject, but we're going to get on to other stuff as well today. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my channel called Take Heed to the Message with Abang Anwa. It just means queen. And this is a name that my husband designated to me, okay? So we're going to get into the foolery today. The title of this nonsense, okay? The title of this nonsense is there a genocide in South Africa? Or is it fake news? Like what President Trump always says, okay? So something's in the water, y'all. Something is in the water, okay? Y'all know yesterday I posted this video right here. Yesterday, I posted this video right here on social media, okay? And a lot of people were offended by this video, and this is what I post, okay? I want us to just replay it. We're going to replay it. I want y'all to hear what I said.
I know y'all saw how
President Trump was getting all that love. I know y'all saw it. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. I know y'all saw it. Okay. Now, it has come to my attention that some of y'all mad with him about him only inviting the white South Africans to America and making them, having them to be refugees. Okay. Now I'm gonna share something with y'all. This is just my opinion. Okay. This looked like a money move. Okay. This looked like a money move. I'm not saying America is involved in any foolery, but we have been known to do some things. Okay. But I love my nation because I was born here. I'm not going, I don't hate my nation. Some of y'all do, but I don't. I know what my nation does and I know what my nation can do. Okay. So when I see the white South Africans come over here from a land that there's no war going on. Okay, you over here because you upset with the president of South Africa because he said, I want to take some of the land over there that is unoccupied, okay, so that we can do some things on that land. And y'all get mad and say, no, we're leaving to go to America because of some injustice. I don't see it, but now y'all have made it easier for the president to claim your land because now he just asked y'all that he wanted land that was unoccupied. That's it. That's it. So with y'all leaving those beautiful houses down in South Africa, all they gonna do is demolish those houses and take the land. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. You left South Africa to come over here to the United States where you gonna pay mortgage every month. South Africa, you didn't pay mortgage. You own the house. You own the land. Don't you know when you have a house in America, even when you pay off the house, you still gotta pay taxes on the land. You see what I'm saying? South Africa, you don't. When you want to have a garden, okay, because Africa is the Garden of Eden. When you want to have a garden, all you got to do is just drop something in the ground. Everything start rising up and everything. Not here, not here. You telling me you came all the way over here because you was trying to seek a better life, okay? Over here, you going to pay mortgage, you going to pay rent, you going to pay car note, okay? And if you ain't want no car, you going to pay all types of money for transportation, okay? Healthcare, you gonna pay for that, okay? Now, yeah, you gonna be able to get on assistance for a few years, and then after that, they cut you off. You gonna have to work. But matter of fact, let me share something with you with the wives that are white South Africans too. Your husband is going to go to work. You gonna have to work too, unless he got a good paying job. You'll have to work too. Okay. You're going to have to work too, unless you're able to get some type of assistance coming in, but you'll have to work too. Who's going to be home with those children? Okay? Y'all have made a grave mistake because the president of your nation only asked y'all to release land that was unoccupied, and y'all got a hissy fit. And said, oh, hell no, you have messed up. See, the only thing that make me think something is not right is that something might be in that ground, okay? Something might be in that ground that they need to be digging in that ground. That's why they asking y'all to, give up some of that land. The president must have found out something is in that ground, okay? And then you got our president out here, okay? And I want to share something with you. No matter who the president is of the United States of America, we don't move, okay, unless there's something in it for us. So that means that we know something in that ground too, okay? So all President Trump did was help y'all come over here, so that frees up the land over there. This is not racist. This is a money move. Take heed to.
So when I
know y'all saw.
Sorry, guys. So when I said this, okay, a lot of people were offended and they said, take heed, you don't know what's going on in South Africa. And I said, okay, let's check it out. Because, I want to be sure at what I say. Because I've never heard that they had um, a white genocide in South Africa. I've never heard that. So I was like, let's check and see. Because from the history, I was like, I never heard this. This sound like some fake news, what our president always says, right? And a lot of y'all have been pulled into this, but you've been pulled in by the powers that be, okay? Now, I'm going to share something with you. I'm looking at President Trump. I'm looking at President Trump. Now, I don't listen. I agree with everything that this man does. I have no problem with the stuff that he does. Because usually when he doing stuff like this, it's usually money coming our way. So we have to like push this type of narrative. But then I looked at Elon Musk. And this is alleged, but I looked at Elon Musk and I was like, something's wrong here. And I think because we don't want to see that this is fake news, so we're pushing this type of narrative, okay? A couple of people on my Facebook page said to me, take heed, the people in Africa are savages, right? Because the way they're, South Africa, the black people in South Africa are savages. And they're trying to steal land that's not theirs. This is what someone wrote me. So I said, this is the pot calling the kettle black. But I told him, that's what I told him. This sounds like the pot calling the kettle black. Now I'm going to share something with you. Can you be, let's understand this. Can you be a refugee? Let's say we gonna do with genocide first. Can this be a genocide if the white South Africans own 50% of the land in South Africa? Can it be a genocide if they own 50% of the land in South Africa? Check this out, let's talk about it. If the unemployment rate for South Africans is 1%. Can this be a genocide if the white South Africans, okay? I don't know why I have to go through this, but anyway, can this be a genocide if they are the strongest in the land when it comes to money? Can this be a genocide? I'm just wondering. Black Queen, how are you? How you doing? Russell, I see you. Time, what's going on, baby? How are you? Can this be a genocide? Because you hear all these things going on social media, because they're pushing a genocide, saying that white South Africans are being abused by the black South Africans and stuff like that. Or could it be that the South African president reported the small hat people? Could it be that the president of South Africa reported the small hat people? I'm just wondering. I'm wondering. Because he reported them to the high court. Could it be? Could it be? Something is not right. Check this out. The murdering rate in South Africa, I want y'all to do it for yourself. Do the research for yourself. The murdering rate in South Africa of white Africans, right, are in the percentile of 1%. The murdering rate and the R word for Black South Africans are 15 to 16%. So who is being genocide? Who is being genocide? Because when you go to the numbers, somebody lying. Somebody lying. Okay? Now, for years, they have been pushing that the white South Africans are going through genocide. For years, they've been pushing this. And they have been pushing this to the American presidents for years, at least a good 10 years. And it has always fell on deaf ears because the United States of America did not believe them. Because if you are holding 50% of the land, your unemployment rate for white South Africans is 1%. Okay? And the M word and the R word is at 1%. Who is the one that is really being genocide? I'm just saying, don't be mad. Sometimes American people, we get news that's fake. Hey, Miss O, how are you? Shout out to Miss O. Real talk with Miss O. Y'all get in here and like and subscribe to this woman channel, baby. This is a godly woman. You hear me? Okay? This is a godly woman. Y'all get in here, like and subscribe to this sister channel. Her content is nothing but fire. You hear me? Okay? And when you get in here, tell her Take Heat sent you. So this is the uncomfortable truth. When we say that South Africans, okay, when we say South Africans, white South Africans, there's a genocide against them. Is it just noise? Do we hear people this is just noise? Because there's a bigger propaganda, we're going to say bigger foolery going on here. They only had 1,000 white South Africans, okay, fill out the information to be a refugee. Only 1,000. Only 1,000 families filled out the application to the United States to be a refugee. Why is that if it's a genocide? I'm just saying. It's here. It's here. We can find it. You understand? This is not hard to look for. All you have to do is search. Only 49 families came over here. Only 49 families came over here. They have 1,000 applications for this. So if it's a genocide, all of them should be coming here. If this is a genocide, it should be over it should be crazy. If South Africans own 50% of the land, white South Africans own 50% of the land, okay? It's a lot of these people down there. They should be running to the offer that President Trump gave them. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. I guess because it sounds good. I guess because it sounds good when someone who got money come out here and say, well, my grandfather, and this is what Elon came and told everybody, my grandfather was telling me about all the things that was horrible in South Africa and what they were going through. Now, this is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to hear. You have a party that wants the white South Africans to push the narrative that they are being genocide, okay? Because they want the powers that be, they want the United States to get in here and start some shit, okay? They want us to get in here and start some shit so that things can go back to the days of old where they ruled South Africa. Have you ever heard that a colonizer comes in? Let's talk about it. A colonizer comes into a land and they stay. They stay. They never left, they stayed. Never left South Africa, was like, nah, we gonna stay here. After the country has been freed, they got presidents now, and no, we gonna stay here. Something is wrong. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong, check this out. I like Trump. I'm gonna always like Trump. Okay, I am, because the stuff that he's doing is amazing. And I've never seen a president work as hard as he's doing. But when shit don't look right, we still have to speak about it. When it doesn't look right, we still have to speak about it. I'm just saying, we still got to speak about it. Because you can't tell me that there's a genocide when you own 50% of the land. You can't tell me that the M rate in South Africa when it comes to the white South Africans is 1%, and that's genocide. You can't tell me that. And they rule 70%, I think, of the country's wealth. How is that? How is that? Something is wrong somewhere. That does not sound right. Now, if you tell me that the white South Africans are downtrodden, they own 10% of the land, okay, I'm doing Dr. Umar today. And they own 10% of the land. Only why I said I'm doing Dr. Umar today is because Green Bean said you're repeating yourself. If they own 10% of the land and they didn't have all this nonsense they were going through, then yes, I would say, okay, this is a genocide. But not when you own 50%. Not when 70% of the wealth is yours. That doesn't make sense. 18 says, scroll up, Green Beans. Why are you always coming in here with negativity? I thank you, 18. 18, baby, I love you. Now, that's the uncomfortable truth. So we have to get in here and make it seem like, okay, these people are being hurt. They're being this, they're being that. Why only 1,000 families signed up for this refugee stuff? I'm just saying, did they run out of applications? Because I know they doing this online. Okay. So now you're telling me only 1,000 South African, white South Africans signed up for this. But if they having a if they're having a genocide, why is it not more? You understand? Shout out to Messy Mashawn. Look at Messy coming in here. I always tell her she's a troublemaker. Shout out to Messy Mashawn. When y'all get time, like and subscribe to this sister channel. You feel me? This sister bring all types of smoke and fire, honey. Okay, she ain't nothing to play with. Y'all get in here and like and subscribe to her channel. And when you get there, tell her, take heed sent me. Okay? Now, back to the story at hand. You can't say this is a genocide when only 1,000 families signed up to be refugees. Huh? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, put on them thinking caps. You cannot say this is genocide when only 1,000 families signed up to be refugees. Anyway, we're going to let somebody from South Africa get in here and talk his mess. This is a white South African man, okay? We're going to let him get in here and talk his smoke, okay? He going to get in here and give y'all something because, you know, I see some of y'all like, nah, take heed, you lying, this and that. We going to let him come in here and do some foolery today. Okay? And then y'all tell me what you think, because I like Trump. I'm not going to never stop liking this man. But I can't get up in here and be, like, yeah, this is good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this makes sense. If something is foolish, I'm not going to rock with that. I'm not. If it sounds crazy, I'm not going to rock with that. You cannot be having a genocide on one group that runs everything in South Africa. You can't have a genocide on one group that is the most rich there. The M and the R word is only 1%. Okay? You only have 1,000 families who signed up to be refugees in the United States. Something's wrong. Something's wrong somewhere. I'm just saying, y'all can push whatever you want to push, but something's wrong somewhere. Let's get into the first video. Here we go.
Independent journalism at democracynow.org/give.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says he will meet with President Trump at the White House next week after a group of some 59 Afrikaners arrived in the United States Monday after being granted refugee status. Afrikaners are the white South Africans who ruled the country during apartheid. This comes as the Trump administration has suspended refugee resettlement for almost everyone else in the world. Speaking Monday, Trump claimed white South Africans face racial discrimination, even though the country's white minority still owns the vast majority of farmland decades after the end of apartheid rule. Trump said he's allowing them to come to the United States to escape, quote, genocide.
It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me, but white farmers are being brutally killed and their land is being confiscated in South Africa.
On Monday, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa refuted Trump's claims that white people are being persecuted.
And let me stop right there. Do y'all know that the United States uses a old law that they still use today when they want a certain part, when they go into a neighborhood and they want a particular land? Does the United States still use this today? This is an ancient law that they still use today. Put it in the chat. Let me know. Do they still use this ancient law today that will take over somebody's property? Hey, Skinny, how are you, honey? Take over somebody's property. So President Trump said, now listen, this ain't no smoke at Trump. I still love Trump, okay? Ain't no smoke at him. Okay? Thank you, Messi. I appreciate you, baby. I see it. Okay. They still use this today. So South Africa president said to the white Afrikaners, y'all have land that you are not using. I want to take that land back and I wanted to put it to good use. Okay. There's land that you are not cultivating on. You're not doing anything on. It is unoccupied. I want to take some of that land back. They own 50% of the land. I want to take some of that land back. We want to do some things with it. I have never listen. South Africa is not the only nation that does that. They're not. America does it big time, baby. When they want something done, honey, they will get up there and slap you with it. Bow. There you go. There you go. You understand? There you go. So now you want to get in here and say, oh, no, they just took the land from us. They just took the land from us. They stole the land. When the president had already told you that this land could be done, this land can be used for other things. More than likely, it's probably business, trying to do contracts. If it probably trying to bring jobs to South Africa. And more than likely, whoever wants to get that land, they're going to pay the land. They're going to pay the owner. Africa, you can't do that. You can't just take land. They don't let you do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what part of Africa you go. You can't just come in and just take land. They gotta give you something for the land. They gotta pay you. You know, you gotta get some type of money for the land. They can't just get in here and like, oh, take the land. So I just want to say that part. Let's get back into the video. Here we go.
Country, calling it, quote, a completely false narrative. On Tuesday, Ramaphosa recounted a conversation he'd had with Trump about the situation in his country.
I had a conversation with President Trump on the phone, and he said, what's happening down there? And I said, President, what you've been told by those people who are opposed to transformation back home in South Africa is not true. And I added to him, I said, we were well taught by Nelson Mandela and other iconic leaders like Oliver Tambo on how to continue to build a united nation out of the diverse groupings that we have in South Africa. We're the only country on the continent where the colonizers came to stay, and we have never...
You heard what he said? We're the only country, okay? In the we're the only country in the world where the colonizers, and I know I said that wrong, come to stay. Now I'm going to share something with you. The problem that South Africa have is that they are split. That doesn't make sense. If you have come to live in this land and there is black and there's white and there's Asian, there's, you know, all these other beautiful races, colors of the rainbow, you cannot separate. America is a witness. You cannot separate. Okay? You can't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Even though some people believe that, oh, us separating works, it doesn't work. Sometimes or some way or somehow it will all ball to a head. It's not going to work. So that's your first problem. Y'all got to mix in together. This is how things change. Okay? I'm just saying, let's continue. Here we go.
Driven them out of our country. So they are staying and they're making great progress. It's a fringe grouping that does not have a lot of support, that is anti-transformation and anti-change. That would actually prefer to see South Africa going back to apartheid type of policies.
You hear what he said? He said there's a small group that want to see South Africa go back to what it used to be. Okay? Just like there's a few idiots in the United States that want to see United States go back to what it used to be. Okay? There's a few idiots here that believe, okay, yes, let's take America back to the way it used to be. But I'm going to share something with you. This is not the days of old. The blood that you see today is not the days of old where you can sit there and do whatever you want to do and everybody's supposed to run with it. This is not the days of old. Okay? And South Africa is not the days of old. Y'all have to mix in order to succeed. So we have to push this genocide thing to have people to believe these people, the white South Africans, are being mistreated. How come only 1,000 families signed up for this refugee status? I'm just asking. I'm asking a question. How come only 1,000 families signed up for this refugee status if there is a genocide in South Africa? So you telling me they only got 1,000 white families in South Africa? You telling me they only got 1,000 white families in South Africa? Huh? That's what you telling me? There's only 1,000 white families in South Africa. Huh? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Play to win, baby. That's how I talk. You know, this is, you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay, right? Okay? You don't have to stay. Okay, no problem, baby. It's no problem. You can scroll up, baby. If you got a problem with the content, this is adult content, okay? This is adult content. Now, anyway, let's get back to the video because I don't have time for kindergarten children. Let's continue. Here we go.
African-born Trump advisor and multi-billionaire Elon Musk has also accused South Africa's government of promoting what he calls white genocide. Musk's grandfather moved his family to South Africa after embracing the country's apartheid system.
On Wednesday, Musk's artificial intelligence chatbot, Grok, became a trending topic on X when people tried to use it to answer questions and check facts. And the chatbot added the topic of white genocide in South Africa to its responses, telling users it was, quote, instructed by my creators to accept the genocide, quote, as real and racially motivated, no matter what the question was. For more, we're joined in Cape Town, South Africa by two guests. Herman Wasserman is with us, professor of journalism, director of the Center for Information Integrity in Africa at Stellenbosch University. His new piece for the website Africa is a Country is headlined Trump's Fake Refugees. Wasserman
Sorry, guys. I don't know what
is a white South African, an Afrikaner. And Andile Zulu is a political analyst with the Alternative Information and Development Center. His new piece for the website, Africa is a Country, is titled Race, Power, and the Politics of Distraction. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Herman Wasserman, let's begin with you. You are a white South African and you are an Afrikaner. If you can explain, first of all, to the world what exactly that means and what you thought when you heard President Trump charge white genocide in South Africa.
Well, I would say that my first response was one of incredulity, and later met with, I think, with disgust even, and just.
Now, this man that is talking, I'm going to share the video with us in our community tab, okay? This man that is talking, he is a professor in South Africa, okay? He's a professor in South Africa, and we gonna hear him. This is a Caucasian man, okay? He's speaking the truth. This is a Caucasian man, okay? He telling y'all what's really going on in South Africa. Let's continue. Here we go.
Rejection of this notion of a white genocide or whites being persecuted. And I think that view is shared by many others, white South Africans, and certainly the majority of South Africans in the country.
Well, Andile Zulu, if you could also respond to these claims of a white genocide in South Africa and Trump bringing over these 59 Afrikaners to the U.S., and talk about this in the context of this the new law.
Oh, I got the number wrong. 59. I thought it was 49. 59. Let's continue.
That replaces the 1975 Expropriation Act in South Africa, and explain why that's been so controversial and what it entails.
Well, this accusation of white genocide emanating from the White House is a conspiracy theory and a myth that has been floating around echo chambers of right-wing populists and white nationalists for many decades.
Okay, now the person that is talking is a black South African. So they have a white South African and they have a black South African. So this is the black South African talking. Okay, his last name is Zulu. Here we go.
Now, particularly within the online space. And it essentially holds the accusation that white South Africans, in particular Afrikaans South Africans, are victims of deliberate, direct, state-sanctioned violence. And anyone who lives in this country, who's awake to the reality of this country, the inequality, the poverty, the unemployment, that most Black South Africans have to endure, and including Indian and colored South Africans as well, knows that it's patently untrue. And the truth, however, is irrelevant to those who are perpetuating this myth. What matters is that it's a means through which you can mobilize anxiety, mobilize.
What did he say? He said it's a myth. You can mobilize anxiety, okay? Because pushing the narrative that there is a white genocide going on in South Africa, it scares everybody. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are Black people coming back to do the same thing that white people did to them? You know what I'm saying? So now they're scared, okay? So it feeds a narrative that Black people are ready to rise and do the same thing. It's like this nonsense that's going on here in the United States. Oh, Black people are ready to rise. That's why you have some fools on social media. Oh, let's do what they did to us. Who's doing that? Who's doing that? Most African Americans and most Caucasian people in the United States, we just want to work and mind our business. That's it. Just want to take care of our families, mind our business. The rest of y'all who out here ready to do a whole race war, y'all be the last one in the back. All y'all who talking that nonsense on social media, y'all be the ones in the back, letting some of these fools that's out here ready to do a race war, put them in the front and let them get deleted first. And then now when they get to y'all, now you quiet, your mouth is closed. All y'all who pushing for race war, okay? So they doing the same thing down there in South Africa. Let's continue. Here we go.
Fear and mobilize frustration from a segment, I think a relatively small segment of the population that is dissatisfied with the post-apartheid democracy and the loss of their political elevated status. It's a way in which you can mobilize fears here in South Africa and then appeal to a base within the MAGA movement in the US as well to portray the Donald Trump presidency as essentially being a crusader to defend white civilization, both in the USA and here. And this all began initially with the signing by the president, Ramaphosa, of the Expropriation Act, which in itself is not that much of a radical or progressive policy. It's a very procedural piece of legislation, which essentially changes the criteria through which government can expropriate private property for the public good and for the public use on the basis of finding just and equitable compensation. And in fact, most legal experts have said that the instances in which you'll arrive at nil compensation, at no compensation, would be quite rare, actually. So this legislation isn't an assault on white livelihoods. It isn't even an attack.
So, hold on for 1 minute. So, Gerald, is that your name? Because nobody can see a comment. I'm the only one that can see a comment. When American people, because we live in a bubble, Americans, we live in a bubble. We do. So when people only come tell us certain things, like only certain things slip through our media, okay? Only if you're watching like, other different type of news, BBC, maybe you can tap into news from all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, different news outlets. Because the American news, they don't tell us everything that goes on in other nations because it's to blind us. You know what I'm saying? It's to blind us, because if we really knew the stuff that happened in other nations, some of y'all wouldn't go. You'll be, because we in a bubble. Our government don't let us know everything, okay? There's a lot of stuff our government do that if you knew about it, you'd be surprised. Some people who know about what our government do is mostly the military, okay? They see the stuff that happens. But because, they don't come back and say anything, they just close their mouth and just continue their life. So this man right here, Gerald, this is what he said. Stupid and clueless woman, they're stealing the land and deleting the people. This is what he said, okay? Mind you, this is what we have been told. This is a genocide. This is what we've been told. But how is it, Gerald? I just want to respond to you. I hope that's your name. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Okay. If this is a genocide, like you said, because you said that's what they're doing to the people, right? How come only 1,000 white South Africans signed up for refugee status? If this is a crisis, it's supposed to be more than 1,000 people. It's supposed to be more than 1,000 people that signed up for refugee status. If there's a genocide, how come they own 50% of the land? How come, I just want, okay, I'm asking some questions. I just want to know, how come their unemployment rate is like 1%? How come they own 70% of the wealth in the nation? I'm wondering if it's really a genocide. I think that we have been told foolery. Okay? Just like right now, check this out. The small hat people have not been sending food to Gaza in the past 4 months. 4 or 5 months. They haven't sent no supplies over to Gaza. Okay? Now, why is that? Why is that? You hear about it in the news and it skimmed through just a little bit. Okay? Skimmed through just a little bit. Hey, Eddie, how are you? It skimmed through just a little bit and then you don't hear about it no more. They only give the American people bits and pieces of what really is going on. And if there is a genocide, got to be Dr. Umar today. I have to be Dr. Umar today. If there is a genocide going on in South Africa, how come it's only 1,000 families that signed up to be refugees? So that means South Africa only got 1,000 white families? That means South Africa only got 1,000 white families? Let's continue. Urel, thank you, baby, for the $5 super chat. This is not pushing hate. We're not pushing hate. We're not doing none of this stuff. I'm just asking. Something's wrong somewhere. They got us drinking the Kool-Aid. Something's wrong somewhere. You understand? Something's wrong somewhere. Let's continue. Here we go.
On the dominance of private property relations in post-apartheid. But for Elon Musk and for Donald Trump, it's doing what right-wing populism, what racial ideologies always function to do, which is to stoke fear, conflict, and division in order to be able to protect the exploitative and unequal relations under South Africa's neoliberal capitalism, and I think under the neoliberal order that we have more broadly.
And Andila, I just want to add these a couple of things that I wanted to say earlier, which is to clarify for audiences who aren't as aware of South Africa's history. It was a 1913 law that gave over 90% of South Africa's land to whites. Today, they are...
A 1913 law that gave that much land to white South Africans. Is that fair? Is that fair that they get all that land? Why the black South Africans don't have as much land as they do? I'm just saying something's wrong somewhere. Urel, you play too much. I'm just saying something's wrong somewhere. We're not doing no racial divide, none of that foolishness. I'm just saying stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Something is wrong. Now listen to me. I'm going to always, respect President Trump because I like his move. You feel me? I like his move. I like his move. My president is a problem, okay? And yes, I call him my president. My president is a problem. You feel me? But something's wrong somewhere. Okay? Something's wrong somewhere. Because how do you have 70% of the wealth? How do you own 50% of the land? How do you have 1% when it comes to deletions? Because they said it's a genocide. 1% of deletions, okay? Then also 1% of the N word and also the R word. So something's wrong somewhere. Let's continue. Here we go.
Some 7% of the population are white South Africans, but they still own about half, 50% of the country's land.
70% of South Africans, white South Africans, 7%, I'm sorry, 7% of white South Africans, but they own 50% of the land. Where have you ever heard that? Where have you ever heard that? They own 50% of the land. Where have you ever heard that before? All of us in the United States play a big part, right? We of African Americans is what we make up, like 13% or 14% of the United States. Where is it that we own 50% of the United States? Where is it that we own 50% of the United States? Let's continue. Here we go.
Afrikaners, who constitute the majority of the white population, are among, of course, the most successful and richest in South Africa. So if you could explain, Andile, how has this news, Trump's statement, the fact that these 59 people have now arrived in the US, how has that been received in South Africa, this news?
I think it's been a mixture of frustration and bewilderment and just real confusion as to what is the basis of the idea that white South Africans, in particular Afrikaners, are being persecuted. And as you said, South Africa in the post-apartheid, the past 30 years of democracy that we have, comes out of a history of a white supremacist regime, which not only dispossessed people of color of their land, but also then set up a rigorous economic system of exploitation to ensure the underdevelopment of Black people, Indians and coloreds included, to be able to amass economic and political power. Now, if you just look, for example, at the statistics that we have on the racial manifestation of equality in this country, it's quite clear that this myth of white genocide and of white persecution has no basis in reality. For example, the unemployment rate amongst white South Africans sits at 7.9% as compared to 36.9% for Black South Africans. The poverty rate for white South Africans sits at 1% as compared to 64% for South Africans. And in fact, the people who are the victims of violence by and large due to organized crime and due to the symptoms of societal dysfunction are largely young Black men and young Black women. If you are a young Black person in the place where I live, in Cape Town, and you live in a township in a rural area, you are 16 times more likely to be a victim of homicide as compared to a white South African. But however, it's just important to clarify that white South Africans, of course, because we are all living in a country that has many issues and many crises, are still, of course, victims of violent crime, of state dysfunction, of economic anxiety and of financial precarity, but they are not victims.
So I like what he said. They are victims of, they have white South African victims of certain disparities that's in the nation, but all of them have the same disparities that's going on. It could either be poor leadership, all these things like that. All of them are going through something, but the white South Africans are not feeling it as hard as the Black South Africans because they have the most wealth. They have the most property. You know what I'm saying? 50% of them by themselves, and they're only 7% in that country. That doesn't make sense. A-Team said fair use, fair use. I know some of y'all mad. You don't want to hear it. You know, so that's why you coming at me saying all these crazy things. And listen, I feel you. I feel you. I would not want to believe it either. But the truth still has to be told, even when we don't like it. Okay? So if this is really a true genocide, like they said, a white genocide, why is it only 59 families came here? Why only 1,000 families signed up? 1,000 families only signed up to be refugees. 59 families came so far the first time. You understand? Let's continue.
Of those things, but because they are white, those issues are a symptom of a larger dysfunction due to an incapacitated state run by kleptocrats trying to enforce neoliberalism on an increasingly dysfunctional economy. So it's quite important to say that the myth of white genocide has no basis in reality. However, South Africa is facing crises, the three crises of mass unemployment, of inequality, and of poverty. And those results from the choices, the bad policy choices that the ANC has made since 1996, which is essentially an abiding commitment to neoliberal policy, the kinds of policies which are causing the crises that we see in the United States and in many parts of the world as well.
I wanted to go back to Professor Herman Wasserman. Here in the United States, powerful group of men around Trump, known often as the PayPal Mafia, co-founders and members of PayPal, extend to apartheid South Africa. Its members, Elon Musk, co-founder of PayPal with Peter Thiel, along with David Sachs and Roloff Botha. So you have this situation where most refugees in the world are not allowed into the United States right now, where refugees are being thrown out of the United States. But you have this group on Monday of 59 white South African Afrikaners arriving in the United States after being granted refugee status. Can you talk about the small group around Trump and what they mean for Trump's worldview right now and what it means that these refugees are brought here? Did it get much attention in South Africa? I shouldn't say refugees, but these white South African Afrikaners.
Yes, I think many South African media outlets refer to these refugees in inverted commas because I think that is the general understanding that they are not really refugees. As you have pointed out, it flies in the face of the really dire and tragic circumstances that many people around the world live under, and that would be much more eligible for refugee status. In fact, as Andile has pointed out, this whole refugee status is based on disinformation. It's based on a disinformation campaign. And so some of it is...
Why is it disinformation campaign? Why is it? Good morning, Corey Joe. Corey Joe, I played your music this morning. Thank you, sir, for that amazing intro. Guys, when you get time, rock out on 1000 Watts Radio. Brother content is always fire. You hear me? Y'all get in there. And when you get in there, please tell him Take Heed sent you. This is the uncomfortable truth, because when you hear this man say that the stuff that's going on, that's being said, it doesn't make sense. They're pushing a narrative that there is white people are being persecuted in South Africa. They're being deleted. Okay. They are being, you know what I'm saying? They're being the R word, all these things like that. Okay. And so this is what's going on. This is not a genocide, y'all. Rwanda was a genocide. Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying? This is not a genocide. We're going too far. This ain't no genocide. I'm just letting you know. Can't be. Not when only 1,000 of y'all signed up to come to the United States of America as refugees. Only 1,000? Oh my God. Only 1,000 of y'all came to sign up to be refugees. Something's wrong somewhere. Something's wrong somewhere. Anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
Of course, to pinpoint exactly what happened first, one could argue that some of these white former South Africans around Donald Trump would have had his ear and would have maybe helped him tap into this sort of narrative of white persecution. They also represent to him maybe white South Africans who have left the country and have sought their fortunes elsewhere. And but I think what is also important to recognize is that this has also been the result of a concerted effort by some Afrikaner lobby groups over many years to fan that idea that South African, white South Africans, especially Afrikaners, are being persecuted. There have been a consistent campaign by the Afrikaner rights group AfriForum, who have been pushing that narrative for many years. They have lobbied Washington, they have met Republican officials, they've appeared on conservative media outlets like the Tucker Carlson show. They've extended their road shows to conservative think tanks and conferences in Europe, like CPAC in Hungary. And in all these places, they painted a dire picture of South Africa, where white farmers are supposedly under constant attack, where they're singled out for violence, they are on the verge of losing their land, that they are unfairly being targeted by a corrupt and totalitarian government which discriminates against them in what they would call a type of reverse apartheid. And all of this was very deftly wrapped up in a communication strategy that then eventually found sympathetic ears among US conservatives. And I think with these men around, white former South Africans around Trump, which would have amplified that to him. And now with this so-called refugee campaign, their communication campaign over these many years, they're lobbying.
I like how he keeps saying the refugees campaign, because this is not these people. This can't be. You understand? Something's wrong somewhere. This cannot be. Okay? Not saying that, this would, I'm going to share something with y'all. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. If you own 50% of the land in a nation, okay, are you downtrodden? Are you poor? You own 50% of the land in one nation. You're only 7%. Are you among the downtrodden? Are you among the poor? You understand? Are you among the poor? We're going to say it one more time. It doesn't sound right. And because it pushes a certain narrative, we out here like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. This is a genocide against the white South Africans. The white South Africans who got sense, they're not leaving their house. You understand? They're not going to leave their properties. Some of these people inherit these properties, just like black South Africans inherited their properties. Some of them bought land, built mansions on top of that land. This is because some of y'all American people, we don't know what Africa looks like when you're rich. We only was show the poor black children that they on the ground, they got flies all over their body, they ain't got no underwears on. They tell you, feed the children for 25 cents. Because this is what we believe. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, Take Heed was like that too. Take Heed was like that too. But Africa as a whole, okay, all the nations put it all in there together. They have a rich part and they have a poor part, okay? And when I say rich part, like right now, the money that Take Heed husband pays on this house, the mortgage that he pays on this house, do you know at the end of the year, my king can build 2 mansions? At the end of the year, the money that we pay on this house, okay, a year, my king can go and build 2 mansions, okay? Then build a mini house, a copy of the same mansion next to it. That's how nasty that when I say you rich in Africa, your houses look like, let me tell you how nasty your house would look if you really wanted to spend some money in Africa, okay? You could get a house that looked like the White House. Do you hear what I'm saying? You see how big the White House is, right? You get a house that looked like the White House. If you took money from here, just your mortgage alone, say your mortgage is $2,000 a year. Your mortgage alone for 1 year, you can take and build a mansion. Build a mansion. Baby, your land will be as, as far as the eye can see. So when we're talking about white South Africans who own 50% of the land, who own 70% of the wealth, who are only 7%, something's wrong, y'all. Something's wrong. You hear what I'm saying? Something's wrong. If they didn't own so much, then we can get in here and talk about something. But not when you own all this and 50% of the land, 70% of the wealth. Why you think only 1,000 families signed up for that refugee status? Why do you think only 1,000 people signed up for that refugee status? Let's continue. Here we go.
Has finally paid off. I think in terms of the South African media, there have been a range of responses, but I think by and large, people recognize that this has no basis in reality. As Andile said, this is based on a disinformation campaign. Some of the conservative elements in the society might find that now somebody has listened to their complaints and taken that seriously. But, anybody who really has their basis in factual reality would know that this is a ruse, that this is a disinformation.
He said anybody who has the understanding of reality, they know that this is a ruse. They know that this is a lie. My brothers and sisters, I don't care what color you are. Okay? Y'all gotta stop being fooled by nonsense. You really do. You understand? You gotta stop being fooled. The president said to them, the South African president said to them, now Russell says majority of the farmers choose to stay and fight. Now I'm gonna share something with y'all. If there's only 7%, okay, of white farmers, right? 7% of white people, okay? And you said they choose to fight who? Who did they choose to fight, Russell? Who they choose to fight, Russell? They said 7%. Who did they choose to fight, baby? 7%. Okay? 7% we talking about. And the rest of Africa is the rest of South Africa is black African. The rest of them are black Africans. If they really was trying to fight the white South Africans, all of them would have been gone. It's too many. Like right now, check this out. This stupid nonsense that America got going on. This is the uncomfortable truth. Don't get mad. Get in here. Let's talk. Get in here, okay? Don't get mad at this. My melanated family, this is the uncomfortable truth. Don't get mad at this. Okay? You understand? Don't get mad at this. You understand? Caucasian people in the United States is population number 1. They're the biggest in here, okay? Population number 2, it used to be us, okay? African American. But now Latinos have taken over. Shout out to the Latinos. Latinos have taken over the second in power in the United States. African Americans are third. Okay, soon we'll be going to fourth, and the Mexicans will jump up before us. Okay, you got the third in power ready to fight the first in power. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Because a lot of y'all talking a lot of smack on social media, and the black community is not enough of us to start a race war. It's not enough of us to start a race war. Now, I'm not saying we won't be able to cause some damage, but it's not enough of us to get in here and be able to wreck shop on all these people if they really wanted to fight. Just like white South Africans, they are only 7%. In America, black people are only 13%. Caucasian people are the majority. So if they really wanted to do some nonsense, the black community would be gone. Do you understand? Do you understand? So now you have, nope, I can't rock with you, Russell. Can't rock with you. I don't give a damn who in here. I don't care who in here. The population of South Africa for blacks is overwhelming. It's nasty. I don't care how many army tanks you got. I don't care how many people you got. If these people want to do some damage, they can do some shit. There's no way. 7% and the rest is black. 7%, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And this is because we don't get in here and listen for ourselves. We don't get in here and check the information for ourselves. We just get in here, oh yeah, it's a genocide in South Africa. Everybody start pushing that agenda. There's a genocide in South Africa. Not when you own 50% of the land. Not when you own 50% of the land. It's only 7% of y'all. If the black South Africans were ready to go to war, nothing can stop them. I don't care how many tanks you bring down here. I don't care how many weapons. How can a gun pull off all these people trying to come and wreck shop on this land? There's no way. There's no way. I don't even care if you call yourself trying to have, one of those, those, I don't even know which one it is, but that just round off, okay? Just constantly round off. You have to stop to reload, right? Somebody gonna get you. These people are not being pursued like that. And because we have people pushing a false narrative, we got to get in here and believe it. We got to get in here and believe it. How come if there's a genocide, I got to say this, and I keep saying it. If there's a genocide, why only a small percent of white South Africans signed up to be refugees? 18 said because the other ones who didn't come or sign up is because they got sent. She's right. She's right. The type of houses that these white South Africans lived in, there's 3 houses connected together in the United States. That's the type of house they lived in. Marble everywhere, chandelier everywhere. And now you're going to come to a regular house, probably an apartment, and live there because they're pushing a narrative. Why only 59 families are here if this is a genocide? If you go to the richest part, because we always go to the poorest parts on TV, the news always show you the poorest parts. But if you went to the richest parts of Africa, you will fall out. Do you hear me? You would fall out. One day, Take Heed gonna show y'all a picture. I don't like to put our business out on Front Street, but one day I'm gonna show y'all a picture. One day. And I'm gonna tell y'all this is our house in Nigeria. One day, y'all gonna say, what? Y'all gonna say, what? Take Heed? I'm telling you. I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna show y'all, okay? Once my king give me permission, one day I'm gonna show y'all. Once he tell me it's okay, one day I'm gonna show y'all. We talking about you gotta have security at the gate. We talking about how there's a fortress, how it's a fortress when you get in here. Not anybody can just walk in. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You hear what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Y'all gonna say, Take Heed, what? I've been married to this man 18 years. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. See, they only tell us how these houses look. They this, they show us all this stupid stuff. I'm telling you. All nations have a poor part and they have, you know what I'm saying? They got a rich part too. You understand? And the rich part don't have none of the nonsense. None of the nonsense that the poor part had. Let's continue. Here we go.
And that actually these little group of so-called refugees are pawns in a much larger political campaign, a campaign both domestically in the US, where Trump is using them as, as really as pawns, as props in a campaign that purports to promote whiteness and whiteness under threat. And also geopolitically, in his executive order, which granted this refugee status to Afrikaners, it was juxtaposed very closely with criticism of South Africa for taking Israel to the ICJ. So this can clearly also be seen as a...
Did y'all hear that? Because the South African president reported the small hat people. You see where the smoke coming from? Because the South African president reported the small hat people. You see where the smoke coming from? Let's continue. Here we go.
Africa to punish them for their stance on Israel and Israel's war on Gaza and the US's involvement and support of that war. So I think one has to understand that this is, although this group of Afrikaners might be the tokens, might be the people propped up in front of the cameras in this media event, that they are actually pawns and props in a much larger domestic and geopolitical political campaign for Trump, and also domestically in South Africa for a group of Afrikaners who actually do not have any intention to leave. AfriForum and these groups said that they do not want to leave. In other words, this is really a power play for them domestically as well, to force the South African government to take their complaints more seriously, to take their claims to privilege more seriously. So it is not really about that group of 49 or however refugees.
And of course, the U.S. threw out the South African ambassador to the United States.
Now, America has thrown out the South African not prime minister. Let me see. Here we go.
Well, as President Trump goes after universities that talk.
Here we go. Here we go.
This group of Afrikaners might be the tokens, might be the people propped up in front of the cameras in this media event, that they are actually pawns and props in a much larger domestic and geopolitical political campaign for Trump, and also domestically in South Africa for a group of Afrikaners who actually do not have any intention to leave. AfriForum and these groups said that they do not want to leave. In other words, this is really a power play for them domestically as well, to force the South African government to take their complaints more seriously, to take their claims to privilege more seriously. So it is not really about that group of 49 or however refugees.
And of course, the U.S. threw out the South African ambassador to the United States as well, as President Trump goes after universities that talk about structural and historical racism in the United States. Herman Wasserman, I want to thank you for being with us, Professor of Journalism, Director of the Center for Information Integrity in Africa at Stellenbosch University.
So I know some of y'all mad, but the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. See, when you think about it, and when she said because the South African president reported the small hat people, this is called payback. This is called payback. Let me handle this accordingly. This is called payback. Because we all know the small hat people got a hand in everything. Anything in the United States, they got a hand in it, baby. That's why I told y'all, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you will not see that seat. She will not smell that seat. Because she came against the small hat people. And I'm surprised they let her run with that. Okay, I'm surprised. Because people don't say nothing against the small hat people. Okay, because they know if they do, they will not smell that seat again. Okay. I'm just saying, if she make it in there again, I'll be surprised. Okay, I'll be surprised if she make it in there again. Okay, y'all give me 1 minute. Let me get this dog. Let me get into the next video. So we gonna get into something else real quick. Shout out to Kendra G. I want y'all to hear this lady right here. Okay. Now, wait a minute. Before we go into that, let me share this with y'all. I know you want to believe the false narrative because it's, you want to believe that this is happening. And that's okay. That's your business. Okay. But even Take Heed has to go and search for myself. Even Take Heed has to look into the story with two eyes. You understand? Not just one eye open, the other one closed. You have to look into certain things. Okay? How long has those people who live in South Africa, the 59 people who came over here, how long have they been in South Africa? How long have they been in South Africa? I want y'all to look at that as well. How long have they lived there? Could this just be a group of people who came and lived in South Africa and now, because they don't really have ties to South Africa, now they sign up for the refugee status? I'm just saying. You understand? I'm just saying now they want to come here. A true white South African, okay, is not going to leave their home. They're not going to leave their businesses. They're not going to leave their land. Do you understand? To come over here and work 7 days a week. To come over here and live in a box apartment. Most African people, if they already settled in Africa, they won't come. You'll only see single people, okay? Single people that will come over here. They're not married. They'll come over here. They not well-to-do. They could have a family in Africa. And maybe what it is too is that they live well over there, okay? But they want to make more money. They want to do something else. And so only one of them will come over here, accumulate wealth, and send it back home. So when we get out here and believe that these people own 50% of the land, they own 70% of the wealth, why would they want to come here and start afresh, start anew? That does not make sense. You understand? And I see what you putting in here talking about. It's about it's so much better till now. Okay. South Africa was so much better till now. It's about alive. It's about staying alive and not money. And I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Because if the black South Africans swarm down on the white South Africans, right? They only 7%. We said this earlier. They only 7% of the population. If the black South Africans swarm down, okay, on the white South Africans, yeah, it's going to be a fight because ain't nobody want to, be sent to glory like that. It's going to be a fight. But if they really wanted to, they can wipe out the 7%. If they really wanted to, they can wipe out the 7%. This is why I tell my own people here, y'all better stop trying to start a race war. Y'all better stop listening to these foolish people on social media. Because again, when you look at the numbers, Caucasian is number one in this BITCH when it comes to the population. Latinos is number 2 in this BITCH when it comes to population. Number 3 is us. And see this right here? This is the lies that have been told. You see this? Oh no, it's so many of them that have been murdered because y'all don't check nothing. You don't check anything. We just get out here and run with a narrative. We don't check nothing. Now, let's continue. Let's continue. We're going to get onto something else. Shout out to Kendra G. I want y'all to hear this. There's a woman who came to Kendra G's show. Now, it's just a clip. She came to Kendra G's show, and she's an escort. And she is a mom to 11. Okay? Now, we're going to get the whole clip because I'm surprised that this is up here. Okay? I'm surprised, but we're going to get the whole clip. Let's just get this in here right here. Here we go.
Okay, you know they got to talk about your body. You don't care?
I'll be right back.
Huh? No.
Okay.
Because they're going to take me as I am.
They're going to, okay, what's your name?
My name is Tish. I'm from Illinois.
What you do for a living?
I'm an escort.
Honey.
What?
So you get paid to have sex with men?
Correct.
What you calling me for? You already got to pull them in the
No, listen. But I'm trying, what I'm saying, to, I just want to, one friend, that's it.
So the men you sleeping with, they can't be a friend?
I mean, they okay, they already occupied, they're married and stuff like that, so.
Let me ask you, have you ever had a boyfriend while you've been an escort?
Of course, I have 11 kids.
Are you being honest?
I'm being very honest with you, yeah.
How many baby daddies do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, so you couldn't be with any of those men?
No, because he's a mess. He was toxic, my first baby daddy.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 14 years old with a 2-year-old. And
your 14-year-old daughter has a 2-year-old daughter?
Yeah. A 2-year-old son.
A 2-year-old son?
Yeah.
So your daughter got pregnant at 11?
Yeah, she got pregnant at 11 and had a baby at 12. Correct.
Did she get pregnant by a boy her age?
Yes.
This Tish, here's the deal. You're being authentic with me, right?
I'm being very authentic with you.
This is a lot, and you already know this space. So are you ready for the conversation that's going to be had around you?
Yeah.
So what y'all think? What you think? Oh my God. 18 said, I have to go to Kenji and look at this mess. Yes, and we about to go over there right now. We about to go over there right now because mom of 11, okay? We about to go over there right now because that was crazy. And she is up here just, why? Why are you looking for somebody? Why are you looking for somebody? You need to be focused on those kids. Why are you looking for somebody? Here's the full video, y'all. Here we go. There's going to be a commercial first. But why are you looking for somebody? You got 11 children and you are an escort. Why are you looking for somebody? And this is the thing that always, this is the thing that always irked my nerve, is that all y'all women will get out there. You have all these children and you will say, this man was toxic. This man was toxic. How many children do you got? How many children do you have? I got the hiccups. I don't know why. How many? How many children do you have? That's wild. That is wild. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Hello, Kendra. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you was gonna really like pick me. You know, and I would have put on my
No,
wig.
it wasn't for
But what's up, bro?
Okay, you know they gotta talk about your body. You don't care?
Huh? No.
Okay.
Because they gonna take me as I am.
They gonna say, okay, what's your name?
My name is Tish. I'm from Illinois.
Illinois with no S.
Yeah, Illinois, yeah. Just Illinois, yeah.
Oh, the all-new Kendra G Singles dating app is available now on iPhones and Android phones. Just go to your App Store or Google Play Store and download now.
18 said she don't look like an escort. 18 said she don't look like an escort. She look tired. I'm tired. That's messed up.
What?
So you get paid to have sex with men?
Correct.
What you calling me for? You already got to pull them in the
No, listen. But I'm trying, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, I just want to, you know, one friend, that's it.
So the men you sleeping with, they can't be a friend?
I mean, they okay, you know, they already occupied, they are married and stuff like that, you know, so yeah.
Well, the reality of the escort ward, the men are married. Never thought about it that way.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get out that game and I want a nice friend, you know, and stuff like that.
So you want a man to date you while you're an escort?
I mean, I said if we like get there, I would stop.
So in the front part, are you guys being intimate?
Oh, you saw me in the yeah, I mean, I'm just searching for now. Yeah.
But you're saying friend, but you want this friendship to become something serious, right?
Yeah, you know, eventually, like, you know, we have to see where it's going. You know, I can't just say, oh, I'm going to be in a relationship with you. I have to learn you just as well as he have to learn me.
Let me ask you, have you ever had a boyfriend while you've been an escort?
I have, of course, I have 11 kids.
Are you being honest?
I'm being very honest with you. Yeah.
How many baby daddies do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, so you couldn't be with any of those men?
No, because he's a mess. He was toxic, my first baby daddy.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 14 years old with a 2-year-old. And
your 14-year-old daughter has a 2-year-old daughter?
Yeah. A 2-year-old son.
A 2-year-old son?
Yeah.
So your daughter got pregnant at 11?
Yeah, she got pregnant at 11 and had a baby at 12. Correct.
Did she get pregnant by a boy her age?
Yes.
Tish, here's the deal. You're being authentic with me, right?
I'm being very authentic with you.
This is a lot, and you already know this space. So are you ready for the conversation that's going to be had around you?
Yeah, definitely.
How did you feel about your 11-year-old daughter getting pregnant?
I mean, I was...
So check this out. Just like 18 just said, Green Beans just said, she's joking. Kendra answered the question in a few words. So this could be allegedly a joke. Let's continue. Here we go.
said, and I brought it to social media, on my other page. It happened at school, and we're doing like not me, but my baby daddy. We're doing the consequences, he's trying to sue the school because he felt like, that shouldn't have happened or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm being very authentic with you.
I think CSU is the right.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think she telling the truth?
That shouldn't have happened or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm being very authentic with you.
No, I mean, I feel like there has to be some type of legal grounds against this.
Exactly, because I mean, but my child, at first she did not want the child. And I forced her to have it because I don't believe in, aborting kids. And yeah.
So how old are your kids? You have an 11-year-old daughter.
No, my
11 kids. I'm sorry, 11 kids. 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to go to
other ages?
Come on, let's talk about something else.
Okay, but are you familiar with my show?
Look, Kendra, I am not playing on your show. I'm just saying.
I said, are you familiar with my show? What I'm asking you are the normal questions I ask everyone. So
I didn't send you. I'm not gonna be honest with you. I didn't send you, but I just never really watched your show. I said she's a nice person, so it's a liar. Well, hey, as long as I know the truth. So think it. Okay.
Okay. Well, I will say this. So these are the questions I ask everyone, right? And when you say the amount of kids, the next question is how old are they? So you said 14.
Steps.
Okay, you're gonna prolong the inevitable. We gotta get all the ages.
Oh my gosh, you want all my kids' ages?
Yes.
Oh, Kendra.
Well, we can end here if you want to.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay.
No, we can end the whole live. You have to. I mean, I'm not gonna force you to do anything you want to do, but this is
okay. Well, we'll end.
It's so crazy. I just had another woman who called me up and didn't want to tell me. She didn't want to tell me the amount of kids. So you told me the amount of kids.
Oh, I told you my amount of kids.
Right. So now you got to tell the ages, honey.
I mean, you want me to put? You say I'm lying? Okay, well.
I didn't say you were lying.
No, I'm talking about the comments. They said I'm lying. I'm lying.
Yes, you're deflecting. You're deflecting. I know I'm a professional.
This is stupid. Why she don't just tell the age of the children? This is dumb. So let's continue. Here we go.
I don't want a question not being answered. So we don't move past this question. So how old are your 11 kids?
They start steps.
Okay, so we can disconnect if you desire. It's your choice, but I have to get all the ages. And I don't want to waste 10 minutes on a question you could just answer very easily.
I just told you start steps.
I don't know. You have to tell me the exact ages.
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and I have a 1-year-old.
So the 1-year-old, and this is by 2 men?
Yes.
Have you ever been married?
No.
And why are you not with the 1-year-old dad again?
What, you talking about the one with the 10 kids?
Oh, you have 10 kids by one and then 1 kid by one other person?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, why are you not with the man you have 10 kids with?
Because he is off the chain. I mean, and I don't want that. He put like this. I mean, he made pretty good money and stuff like that. And I actually stayed in one of his houses. But, it's like he the type, he like to control people. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Like he have a whole woman that he stays with. And
the man that has 10 kids? The one you have 10 kids by?
Yeah, I call her to help, you know what I'm saying? Because he just using her to keep my kids.
So Tish, listen, when I say here, it's my first time ever meeting you. To be assured, you're not trying to just troll me right now. Like
I'm being so honest with you. Now this time I am being so honest with you. I'm trying to pour my heart out to you.
Okay.
And if you don't believe me, I mean, you can go read my story if you don't believe me.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Like, he the type like this, like he'll kind of see, he's the type, my kids stay with him. And so, a lot of females like, why you don't have your baby? Why you don't have your kids and this and that? Because, at this point, I stay in his place, one of his places. And so, a lot of people always, get to the point and like, oh, do you have men coming over? No, I respect them. I don't have men coming over. I go to, like the hotels and stuff like that. But, what I'm saying? And I also practice safe sex. I use rubbers. So, but this time the rubber had slipped out and I got pregnant by one of my escorts. And I thought it was by him. We did the blood test. And, he got to the point he got very upset in his feelings. And he started trying to, so he don't want my kids to be around my new baby. And he started making me pay rent.
Y'all, the look on this woman's face, this does not look like she trolling anybody, but I may be wrong. But the look on her face, it doesn't look like she trolling anybody. It just it looks shame. Shout out to Mrs. She Said. It looked like shame. I'm just saying. Okay, 18 said, ain't no dong way. Oh my goodness. Renee said delusional. So, 11 children. It's not like it can't happen. But she said he started becoming controlling. You have 10 children with this one man. You said he got houses. Y'all been together. 10 kids. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay. So, you never been married, right, you said?
No.
All right. So Tish, Illinois, 35 is escort, mom to 11, kids by 2 men. 10 are by 1 man and 1 is by an escort. Tish, what kind of man are you looking for?
I told you I'm just looking for now a friend, and if things happen, it just happen. You follow me?
What are your deal breakers?
I don't like liars.
Okay.
I don't want nobody who into like drugs or nothing like that. That's a deal breaker. I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't want my guy to do it either.
Should he look a certain way?
No, looks don't face him, but he gotta have coins.
How much money should he make?
6 figures or better or more.
So more than 6 figures is 7. So you're saying be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Your child, the child of 10's dad was wealthy.
I'll be right back.
Yes.
I'm assuming you get child support.
No, how do I get child support and my kids stay with him?
Oh, so all your kids live with him?
Yeah.
Do any of them live? All you have is the 1-year-old?
Yeah, my 1-year-old girl. Yeah.
So is this a court appointed? Did the court appoint your children to live with him?
No, it wasn't like that. It's just like, the simple fact that, I stay up on his roof. So, what I'm saying? He felt like, he thought I was going to try to put him on child support, but that wasn't even the case, whatever, stuff like that. So he was like, well, you say, once we had split up like around about 5 years ago. And so he got the, nice big house and stuff like that or whatever, what I'm saying? And I stay here, with my baby. And so he had told me that if I, he thought I was going to try to put him on child support. So he had said, well, just give me my kids and stuff like that so I can take her out. And I said, okay. Until things get better, or else I can buy me a house.
Let's do the Kendra cam, Tish. That's when you stand up and we see your full body.
Girl! Oh my gosh! See, look, I don't know about none of this, but girl, I
You don't
don't
take your clothes off. You just have to stand up.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The point is, I only got on that, and you know.
Well, do you want to go put something on?
Yeah, I'll put some on. So you wouldn't have wait that long for me to do that?
Well, it can't take forever.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, what you want to do? Can I do it another time?
No, we'll have to end here.
Okay, we can just end it.
I'll disconnect you. What you want to do, Tish?
Kendra, you sound like you're a very nice person, and I respect you, and I will be still watching your shows.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best.
Thank you, love.
You're welcome.
All right.
I don't got nothing left. Tish wore me the hell out. Tish wore me the hell out. Okay? I almost wanted her to be trolling. I literally wanted her to be lying to me. I wanted her to say psych. I was hoping she was gonna say psych. April Fools. I know we're in May. She'd make a move to date. April Fools. May Fools. Thought she was gonna say Happy Hanukkah, like something, anything. I was waiting for her to say it was all a lie. She ain't never say it was a lie. I can't talk to nobody else tonight, child, after that. What you want me to, who you want me to interview with?
Shout out to Kendra G, because I'm going to share something with y'all. The sad part is that even if this woman is lying, there are true situations like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Even if she lying, there's true situations like that that really happen. And it's painful to hear it. I'm just saying. All right. Oh my God. Just some more foolery. Yorel, thank you, baby, for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate you, honey, for donating to the channel. And Yorel, this is for you, baby. Here we go. Yorel, thank you, baby, for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate y'all. Well, you and everybody I appreciate for coming who is rocking with me so far. I greatly appreciate that. Okay. Now, I want us to get into something, because this is what goes on social media. There's a lot of foolish people that get in here on social media, and we're going to jump into another subject. A lot of foolish people get up here on social media, and they love to call me this word too. But this young woman going to break it down, okay? She going to correct a lot of y'all who come with all this, hatred. Here we go, right here.
What the hell wrong with y'all? How come every single time a woman comes and they say anything in defense of men, here come these dumb hoes. Oh, she's a pick-me. She's a pick. First of all, what is a pick-me? What even is that? That's somebody like, oh, pick me. Let me tell you something, baby. You better listen to somebody who get picked. You better listen to somebody who getting chose. Y'all sit up here take a relationship and love advice from somebody who can't get no man, can't keep no man, and damn sure can't get the type of man that you want. That's the problem. Y'all treat men like y'all treat boys. Y'all treat men like y'all treat these niggas. Y'all ain't never had no provider man that's gonna come through, take care of shit, and make sure everything get done. Because when you get one of them, you gonna want to treat him right. You gonna want to treat him a certain way. So if that's the type of man that you want, you better listen to somebody that get those type of men, and not your single auntie Shirley who talk about fuck niggas. Cause we talking about apples and oranges right now when we comparing these men. So yeah, you better be listening to somebody who get chose.
She ain't lying.
Better be listening to somebody who get picked. Free game.
She ain't lying.
What the hell wrong?
Shout out to Leonard. Leonard, I see you in the chat. Renee, I hope I greeted you. How you doing, baby? It's good to see you. Melissa, I see you, honey. Thank you so much. Now, guys, listen. Holmes, what's up, baby? So let's get to the next thing. Now, this is a little something, and I know a lot of y'all don't like this, but it is what it is. This is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to hear in the melanated community. This is one of the uncomfortable truths. There's many uncomfortable truths, but there's one special one that is uncomfortable for Black women to swallow. Okay? This is one thing that they don't like. Check this out right here.
Man, you represent God, and I tell Black women the closest you may ever get to God is being with a Black man, because he looks more like you than me. Nobody never saved nobody but you. And you have been beat down and so discouraged that it's very difficult. But I want you to know that you will be the winner. You are the original man. God didn't make everybody and then make you. He made you first. And everybody was modeled after you on some level.
That's nasty, right? Mm-hmm. That's nasty, right? Shout out to Shahrazad Ali. Shout out to Mrs. Shahrazad Ali. Oh my God. That's nasty. That's nasty. Miss Ali. Oh my God. That's nasty. I'm going to leave that right there. Let that simmer. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there. Mm-hmm. Let that simmer a little bit. Now, I got some horrible news. Okay. Yesterday, remember when we were talking about in order for a man to, was it yesterday or the other day? We were talking about stepfathers, right? And a lot of content creators tell men, Black men in general, don't be with a baby mama. They say don't be with a baby mama. It's not worth it. You're going to go through all this heartache and pain. You're going to go through all this foolery. It is not worth it. Being with a baby mama can also have you to lose your life. Did you know? If she don't have those children under control, if she don't have that baby father at a boundary, do you know you can lose your life? All because you want to save her and her children. I want you to hear this story right here. Shout out to Red Pill Awareness. Here we go.
Is grieving as her son is on the run, accused of killing her husband. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant, Newton County.
Wait a minute. Scratch that. Red Pill Awareness, but he dubbed this video and is actually Anton Daniels, who is in this video that's going to talk. Okay, here we go. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Here we go.
Is grieving as her son is on the run, accused of killing her husband. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Newton County deputies say 41-year-old David Gay was shot and killed by his stepson in the family home last evening. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor just talked with the wife of the victim, who is also the mother of the suspect. A lot to take in for this woman. Angelique.
Good afternoon to you both. This Newton County mother is an emotional wreck. She clearly says she loves her husband, who was killed just last night, but tonight her plea is to her son, who is accused of murder and on the run. She says she wants him to turn himself in. Now, we just talked with her minutes ago. Take a listen.
Please turn yourself in. This is the ultimate breaking for me, and I cannot. I said I couldn't lose another child.
She said another child, a second one, 2 times. That means that she already lost one. And we even got to worry about this one because this one is going in the system. But she said she can't lose another child back to back.
So does this mean that this man just came into her life? Because for her son to delete this grown man, did she just marry this man? Okay? Did she just marry this man and try to get him to get in there? Mind you, she lost a child already. Okay? No father. These boys were raised with no father. That's what it sounds like, because why would you get, and more than likely this is because maybe the stepfather asked him to do something in the house, okay? And he probably told him, you ain't my father, I ain't gotta listen to you, this and that. You know, that little song and dance that some of these boys do and girls do with their stepfather, okay? And this is the heartbreaking truth when some of these men date women who their children are already teenagers. These children more than likely don't have respect for you because mama didn't put a foot down. You understand? Mama didn't tell these children, you can't talk to him like that. You can't do this to him like that. You understand? This is why this woman is crying. She's crying. She don't know what to say. She's trying to talk, but she can't find the words because more than likely she felt this man loved her. More than likely she loved this man. And her son took this man and sent him to glory. But this is the mistake that a lot of us baby mamas make. We don't put these children with boundaries when you get married. You don't put the baby father with boundaries. And if you don't do these things, do you hear me? The marriage will not work. It won't hold. More than likely, I bet you it was something the stepfather said to him, like take the garbage out, clean your room or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you ain't supposed to just be laying around the house all day and doing nothing while I'm out here working, me and your mama working, trying to maintain. Let's go back into it. Here we go.
Is grieving as her son is on the run, accused of killing her husband. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Newton County deputies say 41-year-old David Gay was shot and killed by his stepson in the family home last evening. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor just talked with the wife of the victim, who is also the mother of the suspect. A lot to take in for this woman. Angelique.
Good afternoon to you both. This Newton County mother is an emotional wreck. She clearly says she loves her husband who was killed just last night, but tonight her plea is to her son who is accused of murder and on the run. She says she wants him to turn himself in. Now, we just talked with her minutes ago. Take a listen.
Please turn yourself in. This is the ultimate breaking for me. And I cannot. I said I couldn't lose another child.
She said another child. A second one. 2 times. That means that she already lost one. And we ain't even got to worry about this one because this one is going into the system. But she said she can't lose another child back to back. Jesus Christ.
And I lost my husband.
Fitting every stereotype.
I really can't lose another child. David loved you. He loved me. He loved Kennedy, and he loved his family. He loved like you guys were his own. So if you see this, or if anybody sees this who has any information or who can contact Jaden, please let him know that I love him.
You love him right after he killed Joe's husband, who was a step crash dummy. And this is why I say never play another man's safe game, because it only takes one situation with dealing with these YNs and you trying to instill discipline in them that their father couldn't instill in them. And he gonna, as a 16-year-old, fit every single negative stereotype of black fatigue that you can find right here, all rolled into one. And you love him right after he blew the head off of the step crash dummy that tried to save him.
Now, Newton County deputies confirm both Gay and Daniel lived in the same house together on Avery Drive in Covington. Deputies say Daniel opened fire on his stepfather last night, then fled the scene in his stepfather's Cadillac Escalade. Now, they found that Escalade at a nearby park, Denny Dobbs Park, but Daniel was nowhere to be found. Now, his mom...
Of course he was nowhere to be found, because he was on a run at his girlfriend's house as Harbor and a fugitive.
And a mother is grieving.
So he pow his stepfather, then jumped in his stepfather Escalade, and disappeared. This is why I say to y'all that when these brothers get in here and they say, I can't be with a baby mama, now you understand why. And why Take Heed say you have to have these children with boundaries. You have to give them boundaries when it comes to that stepfather. Even the stepmama, you got to give those children boundaries, okay? The baby daddy, the baby mama got to have boundaries. If they don't, the marriage won't hold. Look how this boy, 16 years old, pow, 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 his stepfather. Took his head clean off. Pow, 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 his stepfather. Oh my God. Take Heed not going to tell you don't marry no woman who is a baby mother. I'm not going to say that. I was a baby mama. Somebody came and saved me. But when these things like this happen, it makes men think like, why am I going to save her? Because actually when a man is coming into an already made family, you have children already, you got this amount of baby daddies or whatever, this amount of children or whatever, he is coming in, he's saving the family. Because what is happening? You're not taking on all the bills on your own. You're not taking on all the discipline on your own. If you're ready to get up there and buy a house together. So he's coming in to save the family. Now it's sad that those boys couldn't be living with their father, because that's what these teenage boys need. The girls need it too. But the teenage boys need it the most, because they grow up and they think that the world is mine. And they have the world is mine in a bad type of understanding, okay? Because children can say the world is mine and then also do great things. But you can also have a child that believes the world is mine and do all type of demonic things. Because the stepfather, she said the stepfather loved him. She said the stepfather, more than, listen to me, I'm going to share something with you. Somebody don't have to tell you every day that they love you. It's the actions that they do that you know they love you. By keeping a roof over your head, food on the table, the lights on, that gas working, the water working. You understand? Talking to you. They don't have to tell you that they love you, but they do it by the actions. A man does not have to tell you he loves you all the time. Your father may not tell you he loves you all the time. Your mama may not tell you that she loves you all the time. But bear in mind, she's making sure, or he's making sure you have a roof over your head. This young boy don't even know the sacrifices that the stepfather made so that they can have. The mother her heart is broken. Someone that came and saved her. Someone who came and loved her in spite of how many kids she got. In spite of what she went through. And yet you pow, 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 the husband. And this is where you have these son-husband mindsets. That because we raise these boys, you the man of the house. You the man of the house. We have to stop telling these boy children that. You the man of the house. You're the man of the house. Because now when the true king comes in, the fake king gotta get some sense and act right. And now you expect him to be groomed under a king when you didn't instill anything in these children in the first place. Some of y'all just raise these children like weeds. They just grow up like weeds and everything. Because what in his right mind will possess him? Let me delete my stepfather. You can tell he don't love the mama. Let me delete my stepfather. He put in his mind, my mama love him too much. She don't love me. My mama love him too much. My mama love them too much. So if I delete them, it ain't gonna be no problem. Guys, I'm sorry we're ending on a sour note. I'm sorry we're ending on a sour note. I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming to rock with me today, because you could have been with anybody else, but you was like, nah, let me go see what this loudmouth heifer talking about. And I appreciate y'all for coming today. Greatly appreciate it, honey. If you want to donate to the channel, you can donate through Cash App, through Super Chat, through Venmo, okay? If you want to shop with us, our family business is called ubmrexfashion.com. Mercari, POSHMARK, eBay is in the links in my bio, okay? If you want to buy merch, scroll to the top of the page. You will see shop or store. If you're interested, okay? If you're interested. Hoodies, shirts, mugs, water bottles, baby clothes, all that jazz. You hear me? And that's about it, everybody. That's about it. Everybody, y'all have a wonderful day. And y'all stop drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? Research stuff for yourself. Even though nobody, even though people getting in here telling us foolishness, research this stuff for yourself, so we can get a clear understanding of what's going on in the world. Stop just taking people information and not searching it for yourself. You just believe because you heard it. Okay? Leonard said, hold on. What happened, Leonard? What happened? 18 said, teach. That's right. No, I'm sorry. Get the books. Get in here. Do your research. Okay, everybody. Now I gotta go, y'all. Much love to you all. Leonard, thank you so much, baby, for coming. A-Team, everybody, all my mods, I appreciate y'all. All the newcomers, thank you for coming to rock with me. Oh, Leonard, thank you, baby, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. To everybody, A-Team, Green Beans, all y'all, Renee, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who is in here, thank you. Leonard, thank you, baby. I appreciate you for all that you have done for my channel. Thank you so much. Melissa, of course you, baby. Of course you, honey. It's good to see all of y'all just come and rock out with me today, and I appreciate y'all. Now, this right here is for Leonard for the $20 super chat, baby. Thank you so much. Here we go, Leonard.
Girl asked me if I play Mortal Kombat. And I said, I love it. Of course, my favorite Liu Kang. She said, you need to get over here so I can finish you. Now, I was a little skeptical, but I thought she was talking smack. I'm undefeated with Liu Kang, so she could bring it. I'm down to give equal lefts and rights, And she said she had snacks, so the chubby within me got a little excited. Y'all, when I got there, she was darn near butter my neck. You talking about some, get over here. No, you stay over there, you Jezebel. They trying to...
He said, you stay over there, you Jezebel. They trying to trap me. Shout out to Leonard. Thank you, baby, for the $20 super chat. Everybody have a wonderful day. Y'all be safe, okay? Take heed to the message, everybody. No music today.